Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of SpongeBob Now. Today, I will be talking about Sandy's rocket and Squeaky boots. First, I'm going to talk about Sandy's rocket. Enjoy. SpongeBob visits Sandy's tree dome, and then sees that Sandy has built a rocket ship. Sandy explains to him that she is going to the moon, and SpongeBob begs her to take him with her. Although she immediately rebuffs this request, saying that this trip is for science and not for fun, not wanting a repeat of the whirly-bird incident, and that there is not even enough room for him on board, she ultimately relents to his incessant begging. Sandy also demonstrates a pop gun which casts nets at its target, which she intends to use to harvest moon rocks. When SpongeBob asks whether it can be used to hunt aliens, she denies their existence and tells SpongeBob to be present at the rocket at the crack of dawn without any notions that he might encounter aliens. That night, Patrick comes to SpongeBob's house and gives him some alien repellent, which they intend to covertly spray on the windows of the rocket. Even though they agree to only spray the windows, Patrick inadvertently enters the rocket, and SpongeBob follows. After playing with the ship's various features, SpongeBob accidentally starts up the rocket and it starts to launch, which makes Sandy wake up and figure out the cause. SpongeBob and Patrick fall right down the rocket. Luckily, the gravity significantly decreases while they're in outer space, preventing them from injuring themselves. The ship loops over the moon a few times, falls back down to Earth, and crashes back in Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob and Patrick are both convinced that they are on the moon and that the aliens are projecting their memories onto the environment to trick them. The two begin capturing everyone with Sandy's net guns, believing the citizens of Bikini Bottom to be aliens. Eventually, they capture everyone in the city. When Sandy arrives and chews them out for ruining her experiment, SpongeBob and Patrick shoot their net guns at her, capturing her too. Sandy attempts to explain the truth to them, but they slam the door in her face. Then, each of them becomes convinced that the other is also an alien. Patrick attempts to shoot SpongeBob before he has a chance to capture him, but had his gun pointed the wrong way and ends up shooting and capturing himself. SpongeBob starts the rocket again to return home, and when it reaches the moon, the rocket crashes on top of it, having run out of gas. Noticing that things are different, SpongeBob looks out the window to see the Earth where he realizes his mistake. Before the episode ends, all the Bikini Bottomites who are being stored in the cargo hold of the ship say, "SpongeBob, we, aliens, would like a word with you." Next, I'm going to talk about Squeaky boots. Enjoy. The episode begins on Pearl's birthday, where Mr. Krabs attempts to cheaply entertain her party guests. When this does not receive a warm reception, he moves on to presenting Pearl with his present. She opens the package, eagerly hoping for a pair of the popular flipper slippers all her friends wear. What she finds instead is a pair of rubber fishing boots, a real bargain for Mr. Krabs, but a mortifying gift for her. Pearl starts to cry, and she cries so loudly, it causes the house and everything to shake. Left stuck with a $2 pair of boots, Mr. Krabs wonders what he can do with them. SpongeBob arrives to ask for his paycheck, and Mr. Krabs decides to play up the value of the boots, telling SpongeBob they are meant only for the world's greatest fry cook. At first, SpongeBob doesn't seem to believe it, but Mr. Krabs wins him over, saying they are far from ordinary and were handed down by the most famous fry cook in the sea. SpongeBob longs to wear such a pair, but Mr. Krabs denies his request until SpongeBob offers up his paycheck in exchange. SpongeBob also makes other offers until Mr. Krabs stops him, claiming the excitement is giving him a heart attack. Moments later, Squidward is polishing off a drinking glass when he notices SpongeBob dancing right in front of him wearing tall black boots. SpongeBob asks Squidward if he likes them, but Squidward doesn't respond. SpongeBob, however, takes a liking to the new boots immediately, thinking they are pretty cool and have made him an official fry cook. He then proceeds to start bouncing around in them. Unfortunately, the boots make a loud squeak every time they move, much to the annoyance of Squidward. To Mr. Krabs' ears, the boots merely make the sound of music. That night, Mr. Krabs begins to dream about the cash lining his register, but sounds of squeaking invade his slumber and the squeaky boots appear in his dream, jumping in his register. He awakens to see his window opening and closing squeakily. He goes to close it, but he steps into a knothole, breaks his leg literally in two and falls outside. Limping back upstairs, he finally closes the window and returns to sleep, but the window opens once more. Repeated attempts eventually yield success, but he breaks his other leg on the way back to his hammock and becomes entangled in it, just as the window resumes squeaking open and closed. Trudging to work on bandaged legs, the tired Mr. Krabs looks forward to at least having a successful business day and a bit of peace and quiet. He arrives to find Squidward leaving for a week-long vacation in a huff, saying he can't take the world's greatest fry cook anymore. Mr. Krabs cannot understand what could be wrong when business is booming, but it soon becomes clear as SpongeBob comes into view, revealing that the squeaking of his new boots are to blame. Mr. Krabs is rather surprised SpongeBob is still wearing his new boots, as it seems he hasn't taken them off since the other day, with SpongeBob replying that he loves them. Enthusiastic as ever about wearing the boots of the world's greatest fry cook, SpongeBob demonstrates how he hopes to live up to the title by performing various feats and tricks with the boots squeaking all the while. The tricks start with him running in place while holding plates of Krabby Patties before giving them to the customers. SpongeBob even manages to make the boots talk by moving them around, asking, "Can I take your order?" While the customers don't seem to be bothered by the squeaky noise, Mr. Krabs grows even weaker and wearier. SpongeBob then begins performing more and more tricks with his boots and starts zooming out of control all over the Krusty Krab, causing Mr. Krabs to retreat to his office for peace. The sounds permeate inside, however, and he decides he must get rid of the boots once and for all. Back at the Pineapple House, SpongeBob heads to bed, still wearing the boots, vowing never to take them off, as they've changed his life, even though Gary appears to be annoyed by them as well. While he is sleeping, Mr. Krabs slips off the boots from SpongeBob's feet and brings them back to the Krusty Krab to hide them. The next morning, Mr. Krabs is sitting peacefully with his dollar bills when SpongeBob enters with a little sobbing, apologizing for losing the blessed boots, and admitted his belief of his fault. Mr. Krabs attempts to console him with magic oven mitts, but they do nothing to heal SpongeBob's pain. Unsure of what else to do, Mr. Krabs takes a customer's order. However, the order comes out as a series of squeaks. Horrified, Mr. Krabs soon hears everyone and everything making the squeaking sound. Driven to madness, Mr. Krabs snaps and confesses he took the boots and hid them underneath the restaurant's floorboards. He pulls the floorboards out, takes the boots to the kitchen and dips them into the fryer to shrink them before devouring the shriveled footwear. Confused, SpongeBob asks why he ate his boots and Mr. Krabs replies that he doesn't need special boots to be a great fry cook as he already is one. He gives SpongeBob his long overdue paycheck and an extra bonus, before quickly deciding to take back that extra bonus. Mr. Krabs then heads off on a week-long vacation with Pearl, having finally bought her a pair of flipper slippers for the trip. Much to his dismay, however, he starts hiccuping with squeaks coming from him as he drives and continues all the way down the road, ending the episode. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Goodbye everyone.